I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Wednesday, December the 20th, and it's getting slim pickings. I tell you what, as far as market information out there, more sale barns are starting to go into their holiday schedule, and there's fewer and fewer of them having sales at all, and some of them that are got really light receipts. Also slim pickings on Tuesday. I was out looking at some wheat cattle, and I tell you what, the wheat is really getting short down here in the southern plains. You know, the Amarillo area had the wettest August in history, and we're already completely out of wheat. And it's pretty much that way across the entire southern plains. If wheat doesn't need a lot of moisture this winter wheat to kind of keep up, but it needs something, and we just absolutely have not had anything at all. And it's dry all the way through the central portion of the United States and your main part of your cattle production areas, and even up north they haven't had hardly any snow in a lot of places, and they need that snow. They depend on it. They depend on mountain snowpack to have water coming down from there, and just need to keep some kind of moisture out there. But this has been a terribly dry winter so far, and I'll admit there's no time like the winter to have a drought, but you do need a little bit of something sometime. But sounds like we've got some wintry weather coming from the northwest, and is going to come across part of the midsection of the country. You know, the southeast has had some snow and had some rain and some moisture, but we need some moisture of some kind through the plains to kind of help this cattle production out. But look at the board on Tuesday. February live cattle down 15 cents at 120.45. December was up 2 cents at 120. Now your feeder cattle were all down pretty hard, and I wouldn't say that the technical support we talked about earlier in the week has not surfaced because your feeder cattle board was down. You noticed your fats weren't down too much, and they were about steady. But March feeder cattle down $1.95 to end the day on Tuesday at 143.30. Of course, we haven't had any fat cattle trade to speak of at all. They are going to have an online fed cattle exchange sale on Wednesday, but only 466 head. But they will trade some fats this week sometime, and it should be right in there, really close to steady. Just showing from what happened towards the end of last week, and unless we see the board really fall out of bed here, should be in there pretty close to what we had last week. It's usually that way around the holidays. But you look at your feeder cattle market, your real-time index on Beef Market Central, on the average of 7 to 899 pound steers up through the middle 12 states, was down $1.23 late on Tuesday at 150.71, and these feeder cattle index prices are going to be down here for the next couple of weeks, just because there's no volume at all to speak of. And like I said earlier, some of what volume is there is cleanup sales, some odd bunches, small packages, singles, stuff like that, and that is always going to drag those index values down quite a bit. Look at some markets on Tuesday that did have a sale. Ozarks Regional Stockyards in West Plains, Missouri had a lighter run of 2,100 head. Called the calves there steady to weak, and a lot of small packages, weekend warrior type producers and things like that. Just not a really good test of the market anywhere, and they didn't have a good enough test of yearlings to really test the market out. Ozarks Regional will be closed all of next week, like most all sale barns, and but they will have a sale coming back the day after New Year's for the regular Tuesday sale, and then have a special wean back value added sale on January the 5th, so mark your calendars for that. But at West Plains there, they did have some yearlings and had a pretty big string there just after 2 o'clock on Tuesday. 134 head of mixed quality steers, weighed 795 pounds at 152.35. Go up into the northern plains and get a market up there, and they didn't even have enough cattle there at Phillip for the Federal State Market Reporter to show up. But we did get some sales there on Beef Market Central, and just before noon they had a pretty good slug of calves there. 60 head, weighed 538 pounds at 195.50. And look at the big yearling quote for Tuesday. It was at Kingsville Livestock Auction in Kingsville, Missouri. Just after 2 o'clock there, they had 55 head of steers weighed 834 pounds at 157. That's your feeder flash for Wednesday.